Hey stars, welcome to my channel. I won't be talking much, I'm just gonna get into the video. Here are 26 K-pop predictions that are more likely to become reality than you attending that BTS concert. But hey, it's not like there is also any chance of me attending, considering my continent is not part of the world they are supposedly going to tour. But what if they suddenly release the dates and Africa is part? It's not impossible, and definitely not exempted from my prediction list.
1. Blackpink's comeback is going to be huge, yet it'll face criticism. This comeback is also going to be different from their previous ones. I predict this entire album is going to have more songs than expected, making it a hit. Their comeback will also spark new trends with TikTok as their main target. But let's be real though, YG's probably going to ruin the entire thing with lack of promotion, leaving the members to carry the entire comeback on their shoulders. The little promotion they'll get would probably be spent on international activities alone. And if we're lucky, they might squeeze in 1 or 2 music shows for their lovely and loyal fandom, which has put up with their bullshit for so long. But regardless of the amount of success they manage to achieve with their new comeback, I just know it's still going to get backlash for one reason or the other. It might be because of the album itself, the lack of promotion and effort by the members, or it might just be haters. 2. Meow is going to gain more attention this year. My gut tells me we're in for a big ride with them. I predict they'll drop a viral song, and unlike previous viral songs, theirs won't be a one-hit wonder. Their style and personality would probably attract more than casual listeners, helping them build a loyal fandom. They might also collab with other artists or even hold their first fan concert, but trust me, Mew is going to become one of the biggest 5th-gen groups this year. 3. aespa's comeback would receive attention, but it would be short-lived, and they would fade into the background almost immediately. I foresaw this one ever since their last comeback, which surprisingly received mixed reactions. It seems SM would abandon them to focus on their new girl group. The incident where Ian from Hearts 2 Hearts performed Karina's solo song before her is quite telling. Given aespa's many controversies last year, SM might be inclined to put them on the back burner. 4. All Day Project would have more and worse scandals this year, possibly leading to a member's departure. 2025 was just the appetizer, the main dish would be served this year. By the way, let's normalize blaming Tarzan for everything that goes wrong with them this year, and also pray that if anyone leaves, it would be that evil Labubu. 5. A lot of old K-pop groups would reunite. As of this moment, EXO, 101, Big Bang, Mamamoo, and A Pink have been confirmed. I'm sure even more groups would announce their reunion this year. 6. We might get Hybe's Caterers 2 this year. It isn't far-fetched, considering it's been 4 years since the last season, and ever since then, Hybe has debuted more successful groups. 7. Cortis would become the biggest 5th-gen boy group during the span of this year. They are going to get into a scandal, and their fans are going to become insufferable. 8. BTS is going to sweep all the major awards. Their world tour is also going to be one of the biggest internationally this year. This is just a fact at this point, because who even expects the opposite from BTS? Even though they've been gone for 3 years, their fandom is pretty much alive and active. I even believe they got new fans during their hiatus, so there's no way the concert seats are going to be empty. They are going to go big or go home this year, even challenging big Western acts. And we all know how Korean award shows love giving out awards to BTS, so there's no competition this year. There hasn't been, ever since they announced their comeback last year.
9. We'll witness Cat's-Eye or a member's downfall this year. This might not even be a prediction anymore, as we're already seeing it in real time. First of all, Hybe's really going to force this entire Gen Z image on them this year, which is just ironic, considering the same company sexualizes its members. And I just know that they are going to get called out a lot this year. I mean, we already know that they have no media training whatsoever, and that they are often too outspoken for their own good. Take Laura or Daniela's case not so long ago, they literally dug their own graves with their own mouths. And not to add on top, the constant lackluster music they release. Internet Girl is already receiving a lot of criticism for trying too hard to replicate Gnarly's success, even though both songs are trash. I fear if they continue to release such terrible music, then even Hybe's payola isn't going to be able to save them this year. I also believe a member is going to be the target of constant hate, either from the public or Hybe's sabotage. I won't even be shocked if a member leaves the group this year. 10. Rami would return to Baby Monster, and their comeback is going to be one of the biggest in 5th gen this year. We might also get a subunit or a member's solo. It's obvious Rami's going to come back this year, considering the amount of clues YG has been leaving behind. Like seriously, why would they abandon their vocal powerhouse? I believe the hype around BABYMONSTER is going to increase this year with Rami's return, which has been one of the most highly anticipated events of 2025. They'll build on that hype and probably release a full-length album where a member is given a solo. That member, I predict, might either be Rami or Aeon. Or instead, YG might create a subunit, as indicated in his earlier statements. Either way, BABYMON comeback this year is going to solidify their position as 5th gen leaders. They might also release a viral song that reaches the locals this year. 11. New Jeans would redebut either as 4 or with new members. Fans would try to boycott. This prediction can go two ways, either it happens or it doesn't. But the higher chance lies with it happening, because HYBE would definitely make sure it does. We all know that New Jeans was literally one of Hybe's most profitable groups of 2025, even without being active. And do you know what Hybe loves more than money? More money. No matter what, that greedy company would make sure that New Jeans is out there making them money, even though they're the only ones benefiting from it. And my prediction is that Hybe would redebut them this year, with or without Minji. We've already seen with Danielle that Hybe doesn't care if they lose one member, as long as they have part of the original lineup. And I fear that they wouldn't think twice about replacing Danielle or Minji. So the probability is that Hybe actually redebut New Jeans at the end of the year, immediately after the lineup and debut plans are finalized. If only they hadn't gotten themselves involved in company politics, maybe then New Jeans would have died. Funny, right? 12. We would see the rise of Girl Set, and it's not going to happen without fan wars with icons. I just know somewhere in my soul that Girl Set is going to release a banger that would get dragged by that cat's eye fandom. They are already hinting at a possible album release in the first half of the year, and their recent release with Little Miss has received positive response so far. They've also openly talked about how they would rather chase art than trends, while having Ariana as their inspo, so I can low-key see the vision. If they actually manage to gain attention because of their music, then I just know that one insufferable fandom, namely icons, would end up drawing constant comparisons and starting fan wars because of their insecurity. 13. A BTS member is going to get caught up in a major controversy. Fight me. 14. The amount of competition this year would cause a big 4th generation group to flop hard. Think about it, the giants are all coming back to save 2026. For the rest of the year, all we're going to hear are their names, and there isn't going to be any space in between for your faves. Honestly speaking, I fear it would be hard for some groups to still stay relevant this year, especially if they aren't bringing anything new to the table. 15. LE SSERAFIM would release a banger which would go viral. Same MO, different year. 2022 dropped Antifragile, 2023 served Eve, Psyche, and the Bluebeard's Wife, 2024 brought Smart and Crazy, and 2025 gave us Spaghetti. I'm calling it, they're on a hot streak and 2026 won't be any different. This time around, their song might just blow up even bigger, especially if they drop a Western collab. But let's keep our fingers crossed. 16. This would be YG's revival year. YG's gonna make a huge comeback this year. With Blackpink, Baemin, Treasure, and Winner all returning stronger, it's gonna be a wild ride for us YG fam. And let's not forget the debut of their new boy group that might just manage to sneak themselves into the list of 5th generation leaders. We can only wait and see. 17. A member of a big K-pop group would leave. It happens all the time, but this one is going to shock everyone. 18. The New Jeans situation would get even messier. If you think it's already messy, you're in for a treat, because we haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg yet. I just know the entire case with Danielle is going to reveal a lot more than expected. And maybe in a twist of events, the case might just air Hybe's dirty laundry to the public, or it might just boomerang and ruin the entire victim's image for the girls. Either way, grab your popcorn because this is going to be a good sequel to last year. 19. Kiss of Life is going to regain the public's sympathy. What's a new year without good character development? We all know it's not new news that Kiss of Life's been cancelled for almost a year now, for a reason that could have easily been avoided. Alright, I won't turn into the K-pop police and charge them with intentional stupidity, but I would call them out as 4 grown-ass women who clearly knew better, but still chose to blatantly mock a race that constitutes half of their fandom. But you know how people suddenly like to develop dementia after a year of cancel culture? That's how it's going to be this year. Wait till they release one banger, and that group of people who think they represent the black community starts saying, oh, they didn't know any better, as if 2 of the members weren't literally brought up in the States. But yes, one banger and we're crawling back to the same hand that bit us. 20. A K-pop group would perform at the World Cup. If it's not a HYBE group lip-syncing at the opening stage, then it's probably rigged. HYBE would definitely make sure one of their groups get a spot even if they have to send their rookie group, Cordis. But let's say HYBE's Payola doesn't work, then there are other options to consider, including all-paid project. Let's just pray Annie doesn't suddenly wake up one morning and decide she is into the World Cup. 21. A K-pop company would try to make advances into the African music market. We might even get a huge Afro artist collaboration this year. I would be more shocked than most of you if this prediction actually comes true, considering K-pop as a super racist industry that would rather borrow black culture than collaborate with it. 22. The public would get bored of Elite, so HYBE would do too much to save them. Elite has definitely reached their peak, and it might just be time for them to retire, not in a literal sense though. I believe people would really get bored of them and their never-changing sound this year. Either that or Nugent's fans would do everything in their power to destroy that group. But when there is fire, there has to be an extinguisher, which role HYBE's going to play perfectly. They are going to try to shove Elite down our throat this year. By that, I mean we're going to see them everywhere even though no one has been playing their songs. They might even change concepts, who knows? 23. Another co-ed group would debut and receive attention. I believe when that evil Labubu said the line, greatest unfamous, he wasn't actually bluffing, because K-pop companies are definitely going to try and replicate All Day Project's success by making more co-ed groups this year. Which is just ironic because All Paid Project has had more scandals than success in the previous year, so I don't why anyone would want to debut another co-ed group. But thank God no K-pop company has me as a consultant, because they are definitely going to do it anyway. Although this group might not be from the Big Four, that co-ed group is definitely going to debut and receive just as much attention as ADP. Or the alternative is that they receive attention at debut, then completely fade into obscurity for the rest of their career. 24. Hearts 2 Hearts would solidify themselves as a top 5th gen group. They're an SM group, what do we expect? 25. We would have a scandal as big as Burning Sun, which would leave the entire industry in shock. I have absolutely no reason for saying this, but I just believe something big would happen in either the K-pop or K-drama industry this year.